and talk more recruiting. That's what we've been doing because June is like hot recruiting month. You heard of hot girl summer? Well, we got hot recruiting month here on Locked On Bama, and we're talking nothing but recruiting. That's what we're going to do today on Locked On Bama, so stick with us.
Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back into Locked On Bama. Luke Robinson, that's me. Jimmy Stein, that's him. Jimmy, how are you today?
I'm doing awesome. It's the best recruiting month of the year. I hate that it's in June, but I've decided to embrace it because, I mean, what am I going to do? Just rant like an old man that's sending back his soup at a deli?
Yes, that's what we've come to expect from you. But a couple of things. First of all, you know, I've always said summer's my least favorite month. I mean, season. And it still is.
Sure.
It still is.
Yeah, well, you don't like baseball.
June,
you don't like baseball.
That's true. June, I feel better about because also SiriusXM brings back the Prince channel. First of all, thanks everybody for making this your first listen. And this episode is brought to you by Bet Online. We'll talk about Bet Online in a bit. But they always bring back the Prince channel. I'm a big Prince fan, like not crazy. I don't like dress up like him or anything, but I like Prince a lot. I think he's probably the most talented artist ever. He's unbelievable. Fair. But I was listening to the Prince channel coming to work today, and the song Let's Pretend We're Married came on. And I was like, if Locked On Bama were a Prince song, I think we'd be Let's Pretend We're Married because we just sit around, bitch a lot, and never have sex. I think it's perfect. Anyway.
Great. Now we literally are married in 65 countries. Great.
We're legally married. Okay. So June, big recruiting month that we've discussed. A friend of the program and one of your cohorts over at On 3, Joseph Hastings.
Great guy. He's so young. Dude. He's a superstar in the industry. You know, Joseph's going to be a superstar in the recruiting industry. He'll be the next Forrest Davis.
I mean, that was such
he's
an
never
odd
heard of
compliment.
He's never heard of Forrest Davis. Joseph is like, I mean, I don't really know exactly. Joseph is like 25 or younger, which is amazing because of how freaking good he is at his job.
Well, he put out on 3 the 10 most wanted recruits for Alabama, and I think we do this backwards. We go from 10 to 1, and we'll just do all of it in this episode. Number 10, he has Anthony Hill. This is a linebacker out of Texas. He's number 14 overall prospect in the country. He's the top-ranked linebacker in the class. He recorded 131 tackles and 8 sacks and 3 fumble recoveries with 2 interceptions last year. That's pretty damn good for a linebacker. He will be visiting that monstrous weekend of June 10th through 12th. It sounds like Texas A&M is the favorite, but, I guess Alabama has a shot if they can just get him on campus, right?
Absolutely. And I can tell you the reason he's in that list, and me and Joseph had talked about this before he put together the list, but really, assuming Henry To'oTo'o and Jalen Moody go to the NFL after the season, I think Moody has to. Maybe To'oTo'o can come back, but he probably won't. I think they're headed to the NFL. Assuming that happens, Luke, we only have 5 inside linebackers, period, on scholarship, like Blackshire, Lawson, Jihad Campbell, Ian Jackson, and Sean Murphy. Those 5, and that's it. So actually, inside linebacker that we just call linebacker now at On 3 because we call the outside guys, we just lump them into the edge group. So really, linebackers for Alabama purposes, we're talking about Mike and Will linebackers. We really need a couple in this class, and it's sort of hard to locate really good ones that have us high on their list. And really, Anthony Hill was included not as a projection of, hey, we think Anthony Hill's signing with Alabama, but more included for the reason being that this is a most wanted list. This is what Alabama really needs. And they really need, if not Anthony Hill, prospects similar to Anthony Hill, at least 2, if not 3, at that position this cycle.
Then at number 9, he has defensive lineman Jordan Renaud. Is that how we say that?
I go Renaud, but I'm not sure, man. He's got some fans. We got dudes on our board that, I mean, they give him the Ariana Grande treatment. I mean, he's got groupies. He's got groupies on our board. He played high school football with Jamarian Miller, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah, great player. Joseph has RPM'd Renaud to Alabama, which is big because me and Joseph have very similar philosophies about that. He doesn't want to be wrong about something he RPM, so he's confident that Alabama has a great shot at Renaud, who is top tier. I don't know that he's a 5-star, but he's a defensive lineman that anyone would take. So he's a big deal.
Yeah, and originally from Florida, now at Texas,
Right.
playing, and of course Texas takes A&M after him too. But sounds like Alabama's got the leg up there. Number 8, he's got Malik Benson, the JUCO wide receiver, who a lot of people love. It's interesting that he's got a JUCO wide receiver in this spot. To me, I find it a little bizarre, and it's not like he's dynamic, but when I think JUCO wide receiver, Jimmy, this is just me. I feel like you're always looking for somebody very tall, go up and get it kind of kid. This guy's only 6 feet tall.
Yeah. Here's what's interesting and why I'm starting. I'm not fully invested both feet in with Benson, but Joseph is. Joseph loves Benson as a prospect. He believes that Benson's talent exceeds the majority of high school receivers we're interested in. He just thinks Benson's really good. And what I love about Benson is those numbers. He had like 1,200 yards receiving. That's so unusual at the JUCO level to find a freshman JUCO receiver that's got over 1,000 yards of catches. That tells me that I'm sure he's not like Devontae Smith in any way, but like, you know how you'd use Devontae as a guy, if you're thinking of a receiver who's always going to get open, always catch the ball, and always make a play, but he's not tall and he's not Tyreek Hill. He's just really good at doing all the things receivers do. And I think that's really what Benson is. He's going to get open, he's going to catch a ball, he's going to make a play. Just write it down.
Yeah, that's I mean, again, I've seen his highlights. I would take him in a heartbeat.
He likes Alabama a lot.
I just find it interesting that he's that high on the list. But Jimmy, I need to tell everybody about Bet Online now. Bet Online, they're one of our partners here. They continue to be the number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, including this year's basketball, Major League Baseball scores, fights, and even next season's NFL and college futures. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering information, from live betting to playoffs to esports and more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline is where the game starts. We've been saying that forever, and we mean it forever. So let's keep going down this list, Jimmy. Number 7, Joseph Hastings has Francis Muigoa.
I've not even tried. The tackle from IMG. I refer to him as the tackle from IMG.
Okay, fair enough.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
The tackle from IMG, whose first name is Francis. Lighten Up, Francis. Was that from that movie Summer School with
yes,
Mark Harmon? Okay, Lighten Up, Francis. Okay. Here's one thing about him. First of all, great prospect. Chad Simmons, who is the recruiting guru at On 3. Chad has RPM just this week Francis to Tennessee, and based on how Tennessee recruited Nico Iamaleava, I'm just adding 2 and 2 there, and I just sort of immediately wrote off Francis in Alabama as soon as Chad RPM'd him. Chad was also the first to break the Nico Iamaleava news, to Tennessee. That was also Chad. Now Chad's saying, this freak tackle from IMG to Tennessee. I've sort of written that one off for that reason. Now, again, this is a most wanted list. This isn't a Joseph is telling us these 10 guys are going to Alabama. That would be a different list. This is a most wanted. This is who Alabama really wants. I'm sure we really want him because he's a badass. He is this year's tackle freak. But, boy, this looks like Tennessee right now. Here's what's interesting to me about tackle. If I'm projecting a class today, the two tackles I'm projecting Alabama's going to sign, and I think both are really good players, is Olas Alanen from Connecticut, who's the by way of Norway, him, and then so one dude from as far away from Tuscaloosa as possible, and the other guy literally from Tuscaloosa, Wilkin Formby. Those are the two tackles I think we end up with in this class. They're both really good players. I'm going to be excited. I think Francis is going to Tennessee, and it's probably, I mean, I don't know, but pricey. Is that the way to put it?
That's the way to put it now. It used to be like taboo to say that. Now I think it's just
they paid $8 million for Nico. I'm not saying they're paying $8 million for this. I don't know what they're paying. I don't know that they're giving this dude anything other than a 6-pack of Natural Light. I don't know, but I'm just adding 2 and 2.
Jimmy, really quickly, I want to have an announcement. We have an important favor to ask you, our listeners. We've put together a survey so we can learn more about our listeners like you and make your favorite Locked On podcast even better. This is your opportunity to tell us what you like and what you don't like about Locked On Podcast.
Uh-oh.
Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey right now to get started. It won't take very long, and everyone that completes a survey can qualify for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Ticketmaster gift cards. To take our audience survey, go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey. Thanks for your help. That's cool. I'm glad we're doing that.
There'll be a lot of comments about Jimmy and his tech issues.
I think I might have to go take the survey under the name Rook Robinson and just see, give me a 5-star review. All right.
There's going to be a lot of like, will Luke stop cursing and Jimmy learn to use a phone?
That it is funny in our Apple reviews, like we got a lot of positive Apple reviews, but one of the reviews gave us a 1-star and said, it says it's safe for children. It's not. Okay. Number six, and I'm shocked this one didn't.
Guy needs to give his kid Benadryl and shut up.
Number 6, I'm surprised this one didn't higher on the list. Cormani McClain. This is a guy, I think he's a 6-star kind of guy. I mean, he's unbelievable.
Best corner in the country.
But I'm worried he's going to end up at Florida.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. I think this is a Gator. I think it's going to be hard for us to land. Again, this is the most wanted. This is who Alabama should be trying its hardest to sign. I believe Alabama is trying very hard to sign Cormani McClain. Hey, I'll also say this. Cormani's the best corner in America. I would agree with that. If there's a 6-star corner, it's Cormani. But, hey, don't give short shrift to Jaleel Hurley, who's committed to us right now from Florence, who almost or considered flip to Auburn. I don't think that's over. He might still flip to Auburn before December. But as of now, it's Alabama. I believe it will be Alabama. And, man, if Cormani is a 10, Hurley's 9.5. And Hurley's created this reputation for himself playing in Florence, Alabama, whereas Cormani is in, talent-rich Florida. So, yes, Cormani's that awesome. I would also project he's signing with Florida. At the same time, I would say Hurley might be just as good or damn close to it.
Jimmy, let's go ahead and take a break here. And I think what we're going to do, I'm going to swap it up on the fly. Let's do the last 5 guys. Let me make sure I got 5 guys. Yeah, I got 5 guys left. And let's do them next podcast. And on this next segment, if there's anything else you can tell us about the SEC meetings, et cetera, we'll talk about that. We're going to take a break right now, and then we'll come back and talk about some odd and end stuff. All right, buddy. So, first of all, Drew Timme has announced he's coming back.
Yeah. Wow, isn't that crazy?
It's crazy to me because I thought he should have gone last year. And now he's got 2 more years in college.
I don't pretend to know exactly what the NBA thinks of Drew Timme. I don't know. But it makes me happy he's coming back. And not because I'm a Gonzaga fan. It's because he is what college basketball has been missing for 2 decades. And that is the name. And by the name, I mean, we all know who he is. There's a legitimate star in college basketball that if college basketball had a Madden, Drew Timme would be on the cover again next year. And I think that's great because there's so few stars in the game. The stars are one and dones. And that's really frustrating. But with Drew Timme, hey, I'll be honest, I'm so excited about having a name All-American back in the game. I'm going to be pulling for the guy. I mean, I was like, thank you for bringing attention to college basketball, Drew. And hey, I don't know what the NBA says about his skill set or where he'd go in the draft. He would go in the draft. So he's turning down NBA basketball to keep playing college basketball. I think that's great.
Yeah, and I like it too. And, of course, the people may be wondering, why are you talking about Drew Timme at Gonzaga? First of all, we play Drew Timme in Birmingham next year.
Right.
Secondly,
I won't root for him that day.
Yeah, secondly, I feel pretty confident Alabama ended up second in his recruitment.
Yeah, I think we were involved. Here's another great point of it that start today, and I'm sure we're in his ear all the time about it. But Bediako, I mean, you know, who didn't gain any NBA traction based on the season he had, even though he sort of looks the part. And I think in the future, Bediako probably is an NBA player. But man, I would be in Bediako's ear today if I'm on the Alabama staff and be like, this is the opportunity of your lifetime. This is the opportunity of your lifetime. You get your matchup with Drew Timme, and that will put you in the first round. That game, that matchup, that puts you in the first round, and sell him on that. And yeah, that'll be a great matchup.
Does feel like we lose every time we play in Birmingham in these non-con, games, though. I mean, I know I went to the Texas game and went to the Davidson game last year. Can't remember who it was any other time, but yeah, it doesn't feel like we fare very well in these things. So hopefully Gonzaga will allow us in this around. Anything out of the SEC meetings that has stood out to you? Anything else that's come out of those?
I mean, one thing it's been, and I watched a lot of Feinbaum yesterday, and who was live there and had some great interviews. It's been a little boring in this sense. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of scheduling talk, a lot of what are we going to do about NIL talk, a lot of, Jimbo versus Nick, with neither one of them really talking about it. And while I appreciate SEC meetings because it's some content and it's a reminder that football's around the corner, but gosh, you'd be hard pressed to name something that is news out of it. Like what news do we have? And I guess it's, well, we're down to 2 scheduling models. I mean, that's the news. So a little long on talk and short on news.
Yeah, I've been a little shocked at the lack of fireworks. I mean, this has been, this is the equivalent of a bad summer blockbuster that we've been watching all the trailers coming up to it, and then we get to it and we're like, this movie sucks.
Hey, they used to announce the first couple of TV games. That always came out of SEC meetings in the past, but we did that 2 weeks ago. Texas and Utah State and Monroe. That's now prior to SEC meetings. So that's another thing that used to be part of. Hey, we'll find out what kickoff times we got for the first couple games. We don't even get that anymore.
All right, buddy. That's going to do it for this episode. The next episode, we will finish up the 10 most wanted recruits from Joseph Hastings, our buddy. Maybe even get him on the show or something. That'd be cool. We also plan to have other guests soon, like Josh Pate. We have a great idea that Jimmy came up with about, we're not going to even say it because we don't need anybody stealing our stuff. But we'll have a series over the summer that we'll talk about. But until then, everybody, we appreciate you listening. Thanks so much. And also, got to tell everybody one more thing very quickly. You need to go check out Locked On Board. This is a relatively new podcast. You can go make your second listen after Locked On Bama, Locked On NBA Big Board. You can talk to or listen to Raphael Barlow, Richard Stamen, Sam Fiss, and Leif Thulin. They give fans an in-depth look at all the biggest prospects, the latest player rankings, and, of course, the big boards on the NBA. Of course, they'll be talking some J.D. Davison and stuff like that, maybe even some Keon Ellis. So go check them out. They do a great job. And roll Tide, everybody.